Good morning children. Today let us study about money and credit. In the previous class we studied about what are the important uses of money, then what is the function of money, how money act between money used for the borrowers and lenders. Money is considered as a medium of exchange that we discussed in our previous class. I hope that you understood about what are the important functions of money. Now let us study about credit. Today we are discussing about credit. What is credit? This credit here means those who are in need of money, the bank will act as a lender. Who is a lender? Lender here means those who are giving money to the needy people. Suppose if I need some money. Because suppose I want to cultivate crops. If I want to cultivate crops, I need money. That way I can call it as crop loan. For crops, if I want to sow the seeds, if I want to buy fertilizers, pesticides, that time I need money. If I need money, if I am a farmer, I need money, definitely what I will do, I will borrow money from the bank. So that money that we can call it as crop loan. For crop loan, I can go to the bank and I can take money from that bank. So if I take money from the bank, I have to fill the form, how much amount I need and what are the collateral things I want to produce in front of the bank. Collateral I will discuss later. Now try to understand that how bank is functioning and how bank is giving loan to the needy people. So that we can call it as credit. So as a form of loan, that bank will give credit to those who are in need of money. So credit therefore plays a vital and positive role. So credit therefore plays a vital and positive role in the situation. In this situation, this credit plays an important vital role and positive role. Vital and positive role. So credit is very essential. Sometimes if you want to construct a new house, sometimes you may have some money. That money is not sufficient to construct a new house. So in order to complete that house, you need some loan from the bank. You can approach to the bank. If you approach to the bank, if you have bank account and if you want to borrow money from that bank, definitely you want to produce certain things that we can call it as collateral. That is collateral or security deposit or security something. For the security of the bank, we want to submit certain documents and we want to submit certain things that we can call it as collateral. This collateral is very essential for the bank. Suppose if I want to repay the money, through this collateral they can collect the amount, how much amount I received from the bank with interest they will get it from this collateral. What is collateral? Collateral here means that they want to produce the documents of the land. Sometimes they want to produce the documents of the land. If they produce the documents of the bank, first thing, produce documents of the land first. Second thing is that if they have vehicle, if they have bank deposit and other things, definitely what they want to do, they want to produce in front of that bank. So that bank will look all these documents and you will give a loan as per the security, as per your security. For the bank's safety and security, they collect this collateral. Suppose if you have a vehicle cost of 20 lakh or 15 lakh, so that they will consider how much amount you can be given. So you can give how much amount. So they will fix it. So the bank will fix how much amount of money bank can give as per the collateral. As per the collateral, how much amount government can give or bank can give to these people. So that collateral for the security of security, always bank will collect this collateral. It may be documents. Sometimes land documents. Sometimes your vehicles maybe the key of your vehicles or your documents related to that vehicles, or sometimes you deposit fixed deposit. If you deposit the amount as fixed deposit, that details or documents. So such any of these things you must submit it to the bank, so that bank will consider. Sometimes your salary, if your parents are working abroad, your salary certificate, you can submit to the salary certificate with which company you are working, all the details with the salary certificate. If you produce that bank then definitely will give a loan to you. So such loans you can receive if you are in need of that amount. Suppose you need to complete the construction of your house, definitely you borrow money from the bank. They will collect your documents that we can collect as collateral. That will collect afterwards. What they will do, they will check these documents whether it is genuine or not. Afterwards, they will decide how much amount of money we can give to, how much amount of money we can give to them. So that they will decide. Sometimes maybe 10 lakh, 15 lakh, 20 lakh, as per your documents, as per your collateral, how much amount can give to that borrower. So bank act as a mediator between the borrower and lender. Bank act as a mediator between the lender, as a lender as well as borrower. So this bank can give money to the needy people, as well as bank can collect money from the depositors. In between the depositor and the borrower, we can say bank is in between the depositor and the borrower. So bank acts as an important role, vital role, or important and positive role in functioning the economy of our country. So bank plays an important role in the economy of our country. I hope that you understood about this much. So farmers always need money. Some farmers, when they sow the seeds, they borrow money from the bank. Then when they want to buy seeds, fertilizers, manure and other things, they need money. Sometimes if workers will work in that farm, definitely they need money. So farmers always need money. How they will repay the amount? How the farmers repay the amount? The farmers will repay the amount after good harvest. Suppose if a farmer borrow money 1 lakh rupee, if that farmer borrow 1 lakh rupee from a bank, and all the collateral, all things submitted, afterwards 1 lakh rupees he borrowed. After the harvesting, he can sell in the mandi. Mandi here means market. He can sell this crop in the market. In that mandi or market, he can sell it. When he sells that crop, he will get an amount. That amount he can give as repayment. He can give to the bank. He can repay it in the bank. If he get 1,50,000 rupees if he got, he can repay the 1 lakh rupees. Sometimes interest may be 10,000 or 20,000. Along with 1 lakh, maybe 10 or 20,000 rupees may be there. That he can, with the interest, he can repay the bank. When he repay the amount, balance sometimes 30,000 rupees balance is there. That is the surplus amount. That is his saving. That we can call it as saving. This saving he can deposit in the bank. This saving, the same bank itself, he can deposit in the bank. That deposit we can call it as profit. That deposit, that is called profit. That is the saving. That is the profit. That is the saving. If he got 1,50,000, that is not a profit for him. Only 1,30,000 he paid it to the bank, because 30,000 may be interest. So that is from that balance amount, 30,000 or 20,000 balance remaining, that we can call it as saving, or we can say that is that we can call it as profit or saving. That amount he can fix, either he can put in the bank. So that may be that this person got a small saving. This person got a small saving. Sometimes normally what will happen, you know that these farmers, they borrow money from the bank and they can't repay it in time. There are a lot of reasons for this. Sometimes crop failure may occur. What is crop failure? Crop failure here means that sometimes due to natural calamities, the crop may destroy or damage, or crops failure may occur. So that time they cannot repay them. Their expectation is that after harvesting they can repay the amount. After harvesting they can repay the amount. But here the situation is entirely changed. What happened here? All of a sudden natural calamities occur, and the crop failure happened. The crops are fully damaged, spoiled, so that they can't repay it. So the farmers definitely think that next harvesting time he can or she can repay the amount. Next harvesting time also, the next harvesting time, what will happen? Sometimes he will get a good harvest, good yield or harvest he will get, or wheat, cereal, or whatever maybe he cultivated, he will get that crop. If a good harvest he will get, he thinks that he can repay. That time he cannot repay. Why? The main reason is that interest. Last year he can't repay it in time. He can't repay. This time he got a good harvest. With the last year's that amount plus interest, and this year he borrowed, so he can't repay the amount. So this farmer, that is why people are the farmers are said that farmers are born in debt, live in debt, and die in debt. That is the reason. So farmers, if they borrow money, they can't if they fail to repay the amount, they can't repay it afterwards. Afterwards they can't repay it, because next year also they borrow money. So that this they can't repay all this money. So that is why it's a saying that farmers are born in debt, live in debt, and die in debt. Anyway, farmers, they borrow money from the bank for as crop loan. That we can call it as crop loan. That is loan we can call it as crop loan. Suppose if you want to construct a new house, so that you can borrow money from the bank, that we can call it as house loan. That we can call it as house loan. House loan, you will get a house loan from the bank, but you have to submit certain things. That we can call it as collateral or security. Security, sometimes as a security, this bank needs security. Otherwise, bank won't give amount. What the amount you need, that amount can't give, because you have to show that I have the capacity or the ability to repay the amount. If I fail to repay the amount, the collateral things, they can collect these collateral things. Maybe vehicles, maybe your bank deposit, maybe your land documents, so that the government can sell this. If you fail to repay the amount, what you collect from the bank, if you fail to give, definitely bank has certain formalities. First, they will inform you about this matter. If you are not bothered about this, again they will inform. Sometimes afterwards they will go to the process that they want to collateral things. What are the collateral things will not given to the bank? That may be vehicles. The vehicles that bank may take that vehicles and they may sell that vehicle. So that this bank can collect your amount. How much amount you receive plus interest that the bank will collect. So next, this interest banks, how the earnings these banks will get. Banks will earnings, how much amount of bank will get the earnings. How bank will function smoothly. How bank is functioning in a profitable manner. So that let us discuss. Suppose the borrower, those who borrow the amount, he may take 1 lakh rupees, 10,000 rupees as interest he want to pay. So that 10,000 rupees as interest. At the same time, bank will receive money from the investors, or we can say that those who invest the money. From there, the bank will receive the amount, and the bank may give 7% as interest to you. If you are a depositor. If you are a depositor, you may be 7% or 6% interest will give to you. At the same time, you look how much amount they collect from the borrower, also take a loan from the bank, 10%. So the balance maybe 3% or 4%. The difference between this borrower and the depositor, maybe 3% difference is that 3% we can call it as saving. Or otherwise, in a simple way, I will tell that. Suppose if you deposit 1 lakh rupees, you will get 7% interest. Suppose at the same time another person borrow money 1 lakh rupee, he borrowed from that bank. So bank will collect 10%. Bank will collect 10% as interest. So 7, then 3% difference is there. So 3% are that savings of that bank. Banks that we can call banks, that will be the savings of that bank, or banks will get that kinds of profit. So bank will function like this transaction. So bank act as a mediator between the borrower and the depositor. Bank act as a mediator between the depositor and borrower. So that I hope that you understood about the function of bank. Bank always will go in a good and smooth manner due to these kinds of economic activities. These are all economic activities. So interest, collection of interest plus collateral plus documentation documents and mode of payment, all these things are very essential for the credit. Suppose if you want to borrow money from the bank, lot of things you want to do. First thing is that you must be bothered about the interest. Suppose if I borrow money from the bank, I must be bothered about interest. How much interest the bank is collecting for the loan. First of all, you must inquire about how much interest that bank will collect from me if I borrow money. So that is one. Next thing is that what are the collateral things I had to produce for the bank. Suppose if I have a vehicles documents will be submitted to that bank. That is also important. Next thing is that what are the documents? Sometimes they may have documents in that we have to put a signature and we have to agree the terms and conditions of that bank. So documentation also required. Then mode of payment. How can you pay that amount? Either you can transact through cash transaction or cashless transaction, or whatever may be the mode that you can that mode of payment actually you have to fill and submit it to the bank. You have to pay the amount, maybe either as cash deposit, otherwise through cashless deposit. Cashless deposit, you know very well that nowadays the government is promoting cashless deposit because the transaction or circulation of money is very difficult nowadays. So that it's very easy to, cashless transaction is more easy than the cash transaction. We are going to the bank and transacting, it may take time and you may have less time to go there. So that in that cashless transactions like through mobile or through your ATM or any other transaction you can, or any other mode of payment you can repay the amount. That government will, that bank will say that how you can pay the amount, either cash or cashless or anything like that. Otherwise you have to select, I want to pay cashless transactions. How much amount of money I will get, that I will transform to the bank's account. I can transact through a cashless transaction. So that whatever the mode of payment you have to fill in that, so that bank will give you loan. So that these are all things very essential for the interest. You have to bother about the interest. Then can produce to the bank, and which are the documents will collected by the bank. Bank also will suggest that these things are necessary to collect a loan. So next is the documentation requirements. There that documentation should be filled, and all the documentation requirement we have to fulfill the documentation requirements. Next, which mode of payment you can pay to the bank, which mode of payment you can pay to the bank. So these are all very essential for the functioning of the bank and how bank is giving credit to you. So that I hope that you understood about these kinds of things. Next we want to study about next topic we want to study about that is nothing but the terms of credit or loan. Terms of credit or loan. Lenders always demand collateral things. What is collateral things? That is the security against loans. Security against loans. Maybe your vehicles documentation, maybe land documents, maybe land building vehicles, maybe livestock. Sometimes you have cattle or anything, that is the livestock details or that documents. So that or either a deposit, you may have a fixed deposit in the bank, fixed deposit in the bank. Due to these guarantee only bank will give a loan to you. So if a borrower failed to lender, if borrower failed to give repayment, he failed to give the amount what he received from the bank. If that definitely the lender, what the lender will do, lender has right to sell this asset. Lender has right to sell this asset. In that time you can't say that you can't reject it, or you can't say that you can't oppose against this, that this is my vehicles, I don't want to sell it, so that you can't sell because you didn't pay the amount in time. Which time you agreed to repay the amount that you didn't pay. You didn't pay the amount, so that the lender has the right to sell your asset. The asset here means maybe vehicles, maybe land, maybe building, or anything like that. You submitted to the bank as collateral. So that you understood about the how precautions, what are the things we have to take while receiving loan from the bank. If you take loan from the bank, first of all you think that I can repay it because I have income, so that I can repay it. Otherwise you never take a loan. If you suppose if you take a loan, if you have only one vehicle, that with that vehicle only your income is generating. Suppose you are a rickshaw driver, auto rickshaw or anything rickshaw driver, or that time, that is you are getting income through that vehicles. That through the whatever may be, that you are a taxi driver or whoever may be, you have your own taxi or whatever may be. That from that only you are getting aid. Suppose if you want to construct a multi-storied building, so you think that neighbor has multi-storied building, so that I can also construct. You can construct a bank, you can construct a building, and you can take a loan from the bank. No problem at all. But one thing you remember is in correct time I can repay it or not. That you must think. I have the capacity, or I have the capacity to repay the amount in time. I have enough income to repay it in time. Otherwise you won't take. Otherwise what will happen? So that is why that that so many people they commit suicide because they took a huge amount from the bank. As loan they took a huge amount from the bank, and they can't repay it in time. What is the reason? They have to think certain things. If you want to take loan, you must think one thing: how much amount I have. So or otherwise how much income I have. First thing. Second thing, whether I can repay it in time. Whether the crop failure or anything like such a things happens, what are the alternative things I can do it against such a disaster happens. Whether I have insured my crops or not. If such a natural calamities or anything that happens, if I take insurance, definitely that you can recover from that problems, that natural calamities. So that you have to think all these aspects. You have to think all these aspects. Then you took a loan so that you can repay it repay it in times. No such these kinds of problems will not happen. If suppose if any problems happens and you can't repay it in times, the lender has the right. You remember, the lender has the right to sell your asset. Sell your asset. Maybe vehicles, your income generating from that vehicle only. That vehicles that bank can sell. Bank can sell that vehicles, because now that bank to collect the amount of what you receive from that bank. So that the bank has the exclusive right to sell your vehicles or whatever may be, that the government that the lender has the right to sell these assets. It may be vehicles, it may be your land documents, or it may be your livestock, or anything like that. That the government has so the government or the bank can do such kinds of things. So you remember all these things. Next, so there will be a compromise the terms of credit. These are the compromise of the terms of credit. What are the compromise of terms of credit? Compromise of terms of credit. Terms of credit. These are the compromise to the terms of credit. These are the compromise the terms of credit. Compromise the terms of credit. These are the terms of compromise of the terms of credit. Next, we can study about formal sector loans and informal sector loans. What is formal sector loans? This formal sector loan here means that banks and cooperatives. That is, these banks, you know that all the banks are registered. All these banks are registered banks, and these banks functions as per the instruction of the RBI. So because RBI has certain norms, conditions and other things, that all these commercial banks, all these banks, they function as per the order, as per the all the kinds of formalities that is to be done by the RBI. As per all the in the supervision of the RBI only, all these banks can function. All the banks or commercial banks can function as per the rules and regulations of RBI. Whatever the rules and regulations that was put forward by Reserve Bank of India, as per their instructions only, these banks can function. If suppose if any bank want to function, definitely they have to register in the RBI, and RBI norms and terms, norms and other things are there. These they have to follow the norms and conditions of RBI. Then only these banks can function. Because this RBI supervises the functioning of formal sources of loan. Formal sources of loan that will be supervised by RBI. Whether these banks are collecting more amount from as interest from the those who want borrowers, from the those who want to get money, from the bank, those who borrow money from the bank, those who are in need of money from the bank, from that bank is collecting more amount from the customers, or we can say that those who want money, those who are collecting that amount, so that from that people, if any bank collect more money, that RBI can case file against that bank. RBI can act against this bank because what they did not follow the norms and conditions of RBI. RBI instruct all banks equally that this much of interest only collected from the people, this much of amount only collected from the people. Those who borrow money from the bank, this amount as collect as interest, this percentage of amount collect as interest. That order will be given to each and every bank. One bank, that bank can collect 10% as interest. Another bank 20%. No, not like that. It means that all the banks that will be nationalized. That is why we can say that nationalized banks. That is why we can say all these banks together we can call these are all nationalized banks, because under the supervision of the RBI only all these banks function. All these banks function as per the supervision of Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India, what they said, as per that only all these banks will function, because this Reserve Bank is the superior bank. These banks has the exclusive right to issue currency notes. These banks regulate all the commercial banks, all the nationalized banks that will be controlled by Reserve Bank of India. So formal sector loans. What do you know about formal sector loans? Formal sector loans here means bank and corporate. Suppose if you want money from the bank, I told you that collateral is essential, then terms and conditions of the bank, then documentation. So all these things will fulfill only. Definitely they will give a loan. They will give, if you need money, if you go to the bank, so you have to obey certain rules and regulations of the bank. Rules and regulations of the bank here means that you have to submit the collateral. Someday as a security. So bank will check whether you have the capacity to repay the amount. If you have vehicles of 20 lakh rupees vehicle, definitely the bank can give 10 lakh rupees. That bank can understand that you have the capacity to repay it. Suppose if you fail to repay the amount, this security can sell. What security or collateral? That is nothing but your vehicles. Your vehicles can sell by this bank, so that the bank can collect the amount. So that is formal sector. These are all formal sector. It means that these formal sector banks, they have to follow the norms and conditions of Reserve Bank of India. They have to follow the conditions of Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank, as per the instruction of the Reserve Bank of India, only this formal sector bank can function. So otherwise they can't function, because they have to follow the rules and regulations of Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank will say that you collect only 10%, not only one bank. All the banks, that is by nationalized bank, all banks should collect only 10%, not for one bank. All banks should collect 10% only interest. They did not have the right to collect more than what the Reserve Bank of India says. Whatever the Reserve Bank of India says, as per that only these formal sector banks can collect money. If formal sector banks say that only 10% only collect money as interest, so that they have to follow the rules and regulations of this Reserve Bank. That is why we say that these are formal sector loans. If you collect money from formal sector loan, definitely you have to submit the collateral things, then documentations, then all these things you have to fulfill. Then only you will get that amount. But informal sector, suppose if you are a rich person, you will always depend on formal sector. If you are a rich person, definitely you will depend on formal sector, because you know that you can repay the amount. You have the capacity. If you are a rich person, whenever you are in need of money, you understood that you can repay it in time, because you have the capacity to repay the amount, because you have the income, so that you can repay it the amount. So you mainly depend on this formal sector loan only. You go to the bank and collateral things you will submit. Then all the documentation, everything you will done properly. Then you collect loan, and you know that if you did not pay the amount, definitely bank will sell your asset. You know it very well. You know the terms and conditions. So that what you will do, you will repay the amount in time. So that will be secure for you. Moreover, this formal sectors are safe, because these formal sector, they are following the norms and conditions of Reserve Bank of India. It means that all the transaction of this formal sector, that will be known by this Reserve Bank. Reserve Bank will collect an amount from these kinds of nationalized banks, because they should follow the rules of the country, the rules of the Reserve Bank of India. Then only they can function. Suppose all of a sudden if you go to bank and say that I don't have any collateral things, I don't have any collateral kinds of documents, so that but I need money, I am in need of money. Bank will not give. Bank can't give. Why? Because what the Reserve Bank says that they have to follow that like that only. They follow the norms and conditions of Reserve Bank. Then only they can give you loan. You never think that bank they are not giving money to the poor people. They are giving only rich people. Rich people they fulfill all the terms and conditions of the bank. Then only they collected. That is why we say that these are formal sector. These are formal sector law. We can call this as formal sector. At the same time, informal sector sector loans. Informal sector loans. What is informal sector loans? It means that without any documentation, without any showing any asset, you will get money. Poor people always depend on formal sector loan or informal sector loan. Informal sector loan. Why? These poor people they can't produce the asset. The poor people they can't show their security things to them. As the land records or anything like that, they can't give to them. Sometimes they may be land as present. They are in need of money. All of a sudden, they will approach the money lenders. Traders, employees, relatives and friends. They will approach these people only. They never approach the bank. They never go to the bank. And they never produce their collateral documentation and other things because they are uneducated also. They don't know how to fill that form. Moreover, they don't know the terms and conditions. Moreover, they don't have any collateral records. So that what they will do, they will approach the money lenders. Definitely, they will approach the money lenders. Money lenders are always ready to give money. All of a sudden, if you approach the money lender, definitely they will give money. Never look about your conditions, what condition you have. They never think about all these things. What people always go to this sector, the money from money lenders. They never approach the bank. Instead of this, they will go to collect money from the money lenders, traders, employees, relatives, sometimes relatives and friends. Because they don't need to fulfill the norms and conditions of RBI, and moreover, they don't need to give asset to them. Moreover, they are landless poor persons. They are in need of money. They will go to money lender. The money lender will give money, and they will collect afterwards. They will collect a huge amount as interest. There is no norms and conditions. There is no such norms and conditions. Only 10% only collect. Suppose if they will go to bank, that will be under Reserve Bank of India, and as per the instructions only these banks can function. But here no such terms and conditions. These are informal sector loans. They can collect as much amount they need. At the same time, what will happen? They may collect a huge amount as interest. So later on, these people they can't leave the situation. So that the informal sector, everybody can approach this money lending. Suppose if I don't want to fulfill the collateral things, if I don't want to give my asset to them, so that I can approach money lenders. But you remember that money lenders are collecting huge amount without the notice of the government. They are not under the instruction of the RBI, because these are all informal sector loans. These informal sector loans are given by these money lenders, then traders, then employees, sometimes your relatives and friends. So that time maybe your friend or relatives. When you borrow money, afterwards become enemies. That is why we may say that give money on enemy. If you give money to your friend, definitely this friend will not repay it. That friend become your enemy. That is why money may give friend as well as enemies. So whatever may be, that times these poor people they may depend on this informal sector loans, because all of a sudden they will get money. They may approach money lenders. Lenders are standing to give money to those who are in need, but they never consider about your condition, whether you are poor or anything like that. They never consider about these things. they will collect the amount, huge amount as interest, because they are not under the supervision of this Reserve Bank of India. They are not under the supervision of any kinds of terms and conditions of the government. I hope that you understand. So, you know that in villages, these poor people, they collect money from money lenders, they collect money from relatives, they collect money from nearby families, or they collect money from the traders, they collect money from the employers, etc. They collect money. Afterwards, they have to give huge amount as interest, and again they collect more amount of money from these poor people. So, in order to avoid such a situations, there are SHG. What is SHG? Self-help group was formed. What was the aim of this self-help group? It means that a unit can function. The members of that villages, they can come together and they can form an association. With that associations, they can that group we can call it as self-help group. They can start a unit. Maybe 5 or 6 members. With their how much amount income they have, according to that they can give that money to form this self-help group. So you know that, and if you want money, you can approach to self-help group SHG. So that SHG will give you loan, and they may collect only low interest. They won't collect like money lenders, like traders, like employers, like relatives. They collect only low interest only. They collect low interest from the borrowers. From the borrowers, they collect only low interest. So, but I hope that you understand that self-help groups, they collect low interest. They can form these associations. Maybe 8 to 10 members they can join together and form this association. Now they can buy sewing machine. Suppose if ladies they want a stitching unit, 8 members or 6 members they can form, or 10 members they can form. They can form and they can start the stitching unit. They can buy sewing machines and they can borrow money from bank. They can approach to bank. Bank is ready to help with this self-help group. Bank always help with this self-help group, because banks aim was to make this economy a good one, so that to make all the people employed, so that what the government will bank ready to give amount to form self-help group and ready to give a loan to this group. Moreover, bank understand that one thing, that if bank will give money to this group, one group member, suppose in that one group member did not pay, other members will force that member to pay the amount, because all these members are there. Other members, if 8 members, 10 members are there, 8 members paid the money, 2 members did not pay, definitely other 8 members will go to these 2 members house and they may say force them to repay the amount, so that these 2 members will be forced to give that amount. So that government always helps this self-help group. So moreover, through this self-help group, they will get an earnings also. They will be self-sufficient. They will be self-sufficient. They don't need to depend on money lenders and other members. Through these kinds of self-help group, they can start their small units. They can start the small units like sewing machines or stitching unit. They can start. They can buy some sewing machines. With that sewing machines, they can stitch clothes. They can earn some amount. Then slowly they can repay the amount. Then for starting handlooms, if they started a handloom industry, small handloom industry, so that they can start. There's no problems. Government helps them. Government gives loans to them. They can repay the amount as a group. They can repay the amount. Next, for buying cattle. Suppose if the poor peoples, they are living in the villages, rural areas, they mainly depends on these cattle and things. If they want to buy these cattle, definitely they can buy the cattle, and from they can collect money from this self-help group, so that they can get interest that is very less, or low interest. They can collect low interest. These self-help group always collect only low interest. If you you are in need of money, so that you can approach your self-help group. Self-help group will give money and you can repay the amount with low interest. No need to approach money in its relatives and your friends. So it is a good task in villages that self-help group they are functioning in a well and a good manner. Then you know that this women, you know that self-help group, the women they are engaged in this self-help group. They want to work in the self-help group because they want to become self-reliant. Suppose their husband not giving, not supporting the family, not supporting that family, they can depend on self-help group. They will be member of self-help group so that their life will become prosperous. They can they will get an income through these kinds of units, small units. Starting of these small units, government always support this self-help group so that the ladies become self-reliant. No need to depend on husband or relatives or anybody. So moreover, the women they will get a chance. All these women they are getting a chance to conduct the meeting, so that these women they will be backside of the room. Instead of this backside of the room, they can come in front. They can conduct in self-help group. They will conduct a meeting. That they will conduct a meeting. In that meetings they can discuss all these ladies. They will be backside of this arena. Now they can come forward. They can come to the meeting. They can conduct meetings about. They can discuss about health, then nutrition, importance of nutrition, then domestic violence that will happen. They can discuss about this. Then they can approach the court and other things. They can come together. That they will get a chance to come forward in the public and they can focus on these things. So that I hope that you understood about self-help group. Self-help group always help by the government. Government aim is to make all these women self-reliant. That was formed. I hope that you understood about what is money, what is the importance of credit, how buying is functioning, what is formal sector, what is informal sector. I hope then self-help group, how the government is helping the self-help group. Thank you.